Well, the Yankees will certainly do what they can, and as Brian Cashman said, they're going to give him a very good reason to stay. I think the Yankees will overpay to keep Joe Girardi. That's how important he is, and that's something that they don't want to have to worry about going into the offseason because, listen, there are no good suitors right now or good candidates for a Girardi replacement.
The first priority for the Yankees is going to be getting Joe Girardi, their manager, back into the fold. He's been fairly successful over his 6 years, one World Series title, although they have missed the playoffs twice in his tenure, but nobody really pins those disappointments on Girardi. And bottom line is ownership is comfortable with Girardi. General Manager Brian Cashman is comfortable with Girardi, and Cashman has been very public about wanting Girardi back, and I expect that's going to end up happening sooner rather than later. That's really priority number one, and then you move on down the list of Robinson Cano.
As the Yankees look towards signing Robinson Cano this offseason, and they certainly will. I mean, what they hoped to do was to get a deal with Robinson Cano done during the regular season. They never wanted Cano to make it to free agency. They thought they had good parameters to sign him to a contract that fit for them and worked for Cano, but that wasn't the case. You know, Robinson Cano came out and said he was looking for $300 million, and that really kind of blew the Yankees' minds. I mean, that is above and beyond what they anticipated in spending for him.
My bet, if I was gambling on this one, I would say the two sides will come to an agreement, probably in the 7-year deal, 7-year range, $175 to $185 million, maybe with an 8th-year player option. But I think the negotiations will probably be bloody at times as they play out in public, as both sides try to leak what they want to have leaked to the media. But at the end of the day, Cano wants to be back with the Yankees want Cano back, and I think that'll be the end result.
I think they're going to look for a Mark Teixeira type of deal for him. You know, a deal that's going to be in maybe the $160 to $180 million mark. They think that's fair. They don't think they want to go above $200 million for Cano. So I think it's going to work to their advantage because I just don't think there's a lot of teams out there right now, well, none, that are going to go to $300 million for him. The Dodgers don't look like they're going to be a suitor, and that's really the only team that was going to get into the Yankees' bidding range. So I think what the Yankees will do is they'll take a Teixeira type contract, put it out there, you know, let Cano shop that, and I think in the end you're going to see Cano come back to the Yankees. The A-Rod appeal and how many games he could be suspended for, you know, will affect the Yankees quite a bit. I mean, you're talking about a guy that if he's suspended for 200 games will be missing an entire season and saving the Yankees $27 million or more. Or is it going to be a case where he's going to miss 50 games and that's going to save them $15 million? So what the Yankees hope to know is how long will that suspension be? You know, when will it take effect? Because they'll know how much money is coming off the books for next year, and that becomes a real factor as they look to that $189 million for next year. You know, will they save $30 million? Will they save $15 million? So you're talking about a very big window of what they'll know they can add through free agency. So the Yankees will be very interested to know, you know, how much or how eligible A-Rod will be towards next season. It's a very important factor in how they shape this winter.
Well, the biggest area they need to address is starting pitching because with Ivan Nova and CC Sabathia being the only two starting pitchers under contract, they're going to have to fill out the rotation somehow. And this plays into the farm system to some degree where at their disposal, they don't have anybody that right now they could be assured would give them 25 or 30 starts, which a typical major league starter would do. It's got to be starting pitching and then Cano, and then the left side of the infield desperately needs some insurance to be brought in because Alex Rodriguez is going to miss at least part of the season, maybe not the full 211 games, which would wipe out all of next year, which is the major league suspension that was handed down. But he's going to serve part of that suspension, you have to imagine. So you're going to need a third baseman, and you're going to have to get insurance as well because there's no way that the Yankees can count on Derek Jeter at 39 years old being able to give him, you know, what he's given them in the past.